What if one morning you woke up and suddenly you could hear what everyone was thinking? Not the mundane stuff, like what they want for lunch or if they remembered to lock the door. No, you can only hear their darkest thoughts, their secret fears, their hidden resentments, their deepest insecurities. How would that change your world? Their secret fears, their hidden resentments, their deepest insecurities. How would that change your world? At first, it might seem like a superpower. You'd know who secretly dislikes you at work. You'd hear the unspoken jealousy from a friend, or the deep-seated anxiety your partner is hiding. You'd feel like you have this incredible, secret insight into the human soul. You could navigate social situations with near-perfect information, avoiding those who wish you ill and comforting those who are silently screaming for help. Imagine walking into a negotiation and hearing your opponent's biggest fear, that their company is on the brink of collapse. You'd have an unbelievable advantage. But how long would that feeling last? Think about your morning commute. The person next to you on the train, smiling politely, might be internally replaying a vicious argument with their spouse. The cheerful barista handing you your coffee could be wrestling with a crushing sense of failure. The city wouldn't be a symphony of idle thoughts. It would be a cacophony of pain, anger, and despair. It would be relentless. There'd be no off switch. Your relationships would be the first to crumble. You love your parents, but what if you heard their profound disappointment about a life choice you made? A choice they never voiced, but one that eats away at them. You look at your best friend, someone you've known for years, and instead of hearing their usual witty banter, you hear a bitter stream of envy over your recent promotion. How could you ever look at them the same way again? And your partner, the person you share your life with, you see them looking at you with love, but you hear their deepest insecurity, the fear that they aren't good enough for you. One day you I leave them, or worse, a fleeting, dark thought of frustration or anger directed at you after a minor disagreement. We all have these thoughts. They're fleeting, ugly, and not representative of our true feelings. They're the brain's garbage disposal. But for you, they would be as real and as loud as spoken words. The trust you built over years could be shattered in an instant by a single, intrusive thought that was never meant to be shared. Your own mental state would be in jeopardy. Constantly being bombarded by the negativity of others would inevitably seep into your own psyche. You'd start to see the worst in everyone because the worst is all you can hear. That stranger who bumped into you on the street. You'd hear the flash of rage in their mind, and you'd flinch, expecting a fight. You'd become paranoid, isolated. You'd start to believe that the darkness is all there is, that the smiles and kindness are just a mask everyone wears. You might try to use your power for good. You could become a vigilante of sorts, hearing the dark intentions of criminals before they act. You walk past an alley and hear someone's plan to commit a robbery. You could call the police, maybe save a life. But then what? You'd be living in a constant state of high alert. A self-appointed guardian angel drowning in the filth of human intent. How many tragedies could you avert before the weight of it all crushes you? You'd hear the silent suffering of a depressed person and feel an overwhelming urge to help. But how do you approach them? Hey, I know you're thinking about giving up, even though you look fine. You'd be seen as a freak, a mind reader, or just plain crazy. The power wouldn't just be about hearing others. It would fundamentally change how you see yourself. You'd be so focused on the darkness in others that you'd become terrified of your own. Every time a negative, jealous, or angry thought crossed your mind, you'd be horrified. You'd wonder, is this who I really am? You'd start to police your own thoughts, creating a mental prison for yourself. The beautiful, complex, and sometimes messy tapestry of human consciousness would be reduced to its ugliest threads. And what if you couldn't control it? At a funeral, you'd hear not just grief, but thoughts of inheritance or relief. At a wedding amidst the celebration, you'd hear doubts and fears about the future. There would be no sanctuary. Silence would become your only escape. But true silence would be impossible to find. You'd have to live as a hermit, far away from humanity, just to get some peace. But even then, the memory of all that darkness would haunt you. In the end, this superpower would be a curse. It would teach you a terrible, skewed lesson, that the darkest part of a person is their truest self. But that's not true. Human beings are a paradox. We are capable of great love and great cruelty, of profound generosity and petty jealousy. Our dark thoughts are just a part of us. They are not the sum of us. They are the shadows, and they only exist because there is also light. To only be able to hear the darkness would be like looking at a masterpiece painting, but only being able to see the black paint. You're missing the whole picture. So maybe it's a blessing that we can't hear each other's thoughts. Maybe that space, that privacy, is what allows us to be brave. It allows us to have ugly thoughts and let them go. It allows us to choose our better selves, to act with kindness even when we feel frustrated, to love even when we are scared. The real superpower isn't knowing the darkness in others. It's seeing it in ourselves and choosing the light anyway. What do you think? Would you take this power if you could? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching.